All right, we're just going to go a quick run through on a yearly filter change. So just depending on what system you've got, you'll have a couple of bolts along here. You might have one there. You might have just a couple on the sides. So let's just go ahead and take the cover off. They should just be finger tight. Sometimes you might just need a pair of pliers or multi grips or something just to start it, and then you should just be able to undo the bolts. So I haven't touched any valves or anything like that. So at the moment, the water is all still on. So let's turn the water off. So we'll turn these two valves both off. And if you want uninterrupted water inside while you do it, you can turn this other valve on, which is the bypass. You don't actually have to do that though. It'll just mean the water will be off inside. So there's no one home at this house, so I'm just going to leave that off. So at this time, the water's off either side, so there is pressure built up in the system. So if you tried to undo these cartridges, they'll be very tough to undo. So you need to release the pressure out of the system, which what these buttons are for. So just give them a press until your gauges will go down to 0. And then just get your spanner. And crack the cartridges. Let's undo them. Just be careful when you're undoing them, because as soon as they come out of the thread, they're obviously full of water, so they're a little bit heavy. So depending on what system you've got, sometimes the in will be on the left, sometimes it'll be on the right. The easiest way to figure it out, they do have writing on the top in and out. Sometimes it's covered though by the stainless. So the easiest way to figure it out is to turn these ball valves on just slowly. So I'll turn this one on slowly. You have to make sure though that your bypass is turned off. Otherwise they'll both come with water through. So that one's turned on and there's no water coming out. So that means that's the out. So we'll just test the other one to make sure. So I've turned this one on and there's water coming out this first cartridge. So that means this is the in. So when we put the cartridges back in, there is a specific order that we need to put them in. It's just to make sure that they're going to give us the best filtration we can get. I'm just going to grab a clean microfiber cloth. So some people use a spray disinfectant in these. I just try and stay away from chemicals, but these ones aren't too bad. Just give them a quick wipe and a quick clean. They can get a little bit of build up in them if the water quality is really bad, or if the cartridges haven't been changed for a long time. Be good. So the new cartridges, when I send them out to you, they'll have a 1, a 2 and a 3 on them. So obviously 1, 2, 3 on this system. If you've done the test and the in is on this side, then it'll be 1, 2, 3. So an easy way to remember is the sediment filter is always first. If you've got more than one sediment filter, it can get a little bit more technical, but you pretty much want sediment first, and then the highest micron carbon, and then the lowest micron carbon. So this is our sediment filter. I'll just do it hand tight. I've got number 2, which is one of the carbon filters. When you're actually putting these into, it's a good idea not to grab the filter and put your hands all over it. Just try and grab it on the top of the plastic bit. Don't take the plastic off until you're ready to put them right back in. And they have a little knoblet on the bottom that you'd be able to see. So make sure the cartridge actually sits on that knob so it seats properly. So now I'll just give these a nip up with the spanner. Doesn't need to be super tight. They've got a rubber ring on them. So then what I'll do is I'll turn this in on and the water will come out here. So if you're inside in a garage or something like that, you might just want to put a bucket under there to catch the water. I'm outside today, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll turn this on just for a second. Turn it back on for a second again. So it just flushes anything that's come out of this cartridge. We don't want it just to go into the next cartridge and clog it up straight away. Last one in. Depending on how many years the system's been in as well, we can change these O-rings if they are looking worse for wear, which are really easy. You can literally just pick them off, get the new ones. They usually come lubed up. Literally just put them in and then you're off to go. But you only really need to change the O-rings every couple of years, or if something starts leaking. So last one on. So turn the water on the end. Just slowly. Every time you turn the water on and off, you just do it slowly. Don't just jam it on full ball. It's just not good for all the internal components. So the pressure's gone up. Let's turn the out on. So this will actually turn the water on to the house. So what is a good idea to do is find your closest hose tap outside that's near your system and turn that actually on before you turn this one on. So I'll do it over here and I'll show you what I mean. What I'm going to do is turn this on. And so there's no water coming out now, obviously, because the water's off. As I turn this on, it will come out of this tap straight away. So what that does, it just helps anything coming out of those cartridges from manufacturing that need to be flushed through come straight out of this tap rather than going and stuck in the pipeline somewhere else. You're probably going to get a little bit of milky water come out of here. It might spit at you a little bit. It's totally fine. Just let this run for 5 to 10 minutes, or until the water's a little bit milky, until that water looks clear, and then you'll be good to go. I'm going to leave that running, and then we can just chuck this cover back on. Put it back on. Obviously, you can just double check your blue canisters that you've done them up tight enough that they're not leaking. If they're going to leak anywhere, it'll be from the top, and then it will drip down to the bottom of the canister. All done. So that was about 10 or 11 minutes. So they're not too hard to change, obviously, as long as nothing goes wrong. And you just want to make sure that these two valves either side of the system are turned on, which is this one and this one. And then you want to make sure your bypass, which is the other valve, is turned off. So your system may have a little bit of a different setup to this one. And what I mean by that is that you might have this valve over here, or this valve might be down here, just depending on how your plumbing system was when the system was installed. But the two valves that are the closest to these two sides are the in and the out. This valve is your bypass. So if you want this filter system to be working, you have these two valves turned on and the bypass turned off. If you get stuck, just give us a call. But yeah, it's pretty simple to change the filters over.